Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Board to reconvene. Welcome to the afternoon session of the January 23rd, 2024 meeting. First item is roll call.
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Scribner.
Here.
Supervisor Flores. Here. Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
The next item is a report on actions taken in closed session. County Council.
Good afternoon. This morning you met in closed session on items 37, 38, and 39, and there is no reportable action.
Thank you. The next item is the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or a C above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. The C represents the consent agenda for the Kern Sanitation Authority and or the Ford City Taft Heights Sanitation Districts and or the IHSS Public Authority. Any member can make a comment on any item on the consent agenda. I will tell you what those are. Consent agenda starts on page 2 with item 3 and it continues through page 7 to item 38. Only items 1 and 2, which are public presentations and board member announcements, are off of the consent agenda. So 3 through 38 are on the consent agenda. Items 25 and 26 have been withdrawn by the CAO's office. They will not be heard today. Is there anyone here that would like to make any comment on any item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will return it to the board.
Motion on consent.
Second.
We have 7 motions and 1 second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. That takes us back to page 2 of the afternoon agenda, item 1, which is public presentations, and this portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on this agenda but under the jurisdiction of the board. We try to keep those comments to 2 minutes. Is there anyone here that would like to make a public presentation? And I'll let you know that we're going to call on Amy Espinoza, our Auditor-controller, but we're going to do that under item 2, which is board member announcements and reports. Mr. McLean.
Thank you. Dennis McLean, MCL-EAN. Good afternoon, Chairman and board members. I want to comment on this morning's public remarks. I saw Amy Espinoza was in the audience this morning, but chose not to comment on our election concerns. I would like her responses to be on the public record so those working citizens can see and hear her remarks. I've been told by this board, the citizens of Kern County are the overseers of this office. I have heard her promote transparency in her comments, but have not seen her deliver. In closing, the public demands more feedback from this elected public office. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Mr. McLean, let me also apologize to you. I believe Ms. Espinoza you probably just said it. She was here in the audience. I didn't see her. If you were sitting up here and you had these lights in your eyes like I do, I can't see much past you. I would have recognized her, and I believe she was willing to speak in the morning, but she wasn't recognized. Okay, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Yeah, I don't have lights in my eyes. My name's Andrew Hensel. Board members, I'm about to bring a bunch of new patriots into the citizen group that speaks here on Tuesdays.
Mr. Hensel, can you spell your last name for us?
Yes, H-E-N-S-E-L.
Thank you.
And what I've seen so far has been antagonistic, and I would like to change that rather than add to it with all these new eager speakers. But if you choose to historically not respond to our questions, what are we to think? And I'm told by people who have shouted into the void a lot longer than I have that your silence means, with very few exceptions, that either you don't share our values or someone has you by the short hairs and is manipulating you to pass budget requests without debate or to increase the budget up to $3 billion at a rate faster than the Kern County population growth. For our part, we citizens will continue to talk about election integrity. That's non-negotiable because of the urgent timeline as follows. There is a federal lawsuit that Judicial Watch may file on Kern County on January 28th in 5 days. The county will begin mailing ballots on February 5th for the primary presidential election in 13 days. The county will begin mailing ballots on October 7th for the general election in about 8.5 months. So the question many of us have, maybe you have this question as well, will the public accept the results of the next general election, no matter which way it goes? Will there be enough transparency and integrity in the election process for the public, for our republic to hold itself together? Will we trust the Dominion machines, or will we get rid of them? As if to answer that question, here's a news flash from a few days ago. In Atlanta on Friday, Alex Halderman was able to hack a Dominion tabulator in front of a U.S. district judge using only a pen to change the vote totals.
Mr. Hensel, I don't think I said it when you stepped to the microphone, but we try to keep our comments, public comments, to 2 minutes, and you've hit that.
Yes, yes. I timed it myself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Robles, I know you are an expert on the 2-minute rule.
Well, if it's a Mexican 2 minutes, it might stretch out a little.
Ralph.
I don't know if these dates were important to you, but
Good afternoon. My name is Ralph Robles,
Good afternoon.
R-O-B-L-E-S, and I am a veteran. And I'm up here to ask some very specific questions, like how many voters have been removed from the voter rolls? And just as an aside, how many of those voters are over 90 years old? And the question that I want to bring up is the cameras for the drop boxes. I thought they were going to be surveillance, but now I find out that they're security. And in a discussion with Mr. Peters, I believe it was, he informed me that those cameras are not allowed to show the faces of whoever's dropping the ballot boxes, unless my memory is faulty. And I asked him to show me the law or the mandate that precludes that. So far, I haven't heard anything. I'm very disappointed in this county for a number of reasons. We blow up power plants so that we can have blackouts and pay higher prices for energy. We shut down revenue generating oil rigs so that we can import oil from foreign countries that use our money to kill us. We spend money on freeways to nowhere, and we build railroads that still haven't got a choo-choo. So I'm wondering, what is it really you are trying to do with the people's money? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robles. Supervisor Peters?
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to note, Mr. Robles, that no, I did not say that that's against the law. I do not know what the law is regarding that. I just want to make that clear. I don't know what the rules are about that.
Well, shouldn't somebody be able to tell us?
I believe Ms. Espinoza, who's in charge of the elections department and who's installing these cameras, will be able to do that.
Who'll be next?
Hi, I just got here. It's hard for me to get away. I have a home care nurse now for certain things. And anyway, I wanted to say that I got a chance to go onto the newly redone website for the Kern County elections. I just wanted to congratulate Amy Espinoza and her staff for coming up with a more user-friendly way of looking up information. I was very impressed with it. I also want to thank Amy Espinoza for her transparency and all the actions that are happening in our election system. And I'm looking forward to getting my sample ballot soon, along with the actual ballot to vote on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lindpesti. Any other speakers?
Good afternoon. I'm Eddie Lane. I appreciate this opportunity.
Good afternoon.
The Sierra Club has provided a detailed letter to the Board and County Administrative Office back in December 5th. We asked for an action plan to address security protection in Kern County parks and a park-by-park, district-by-district report on ranger coverage. There was no response. That's the reason last week's California Public Records Act request was filed, requesting that information. In addition, there's been no explanation of how it's possible that one vacancy of 21 noted in the August 20 budget became 13 vacancies of 21 on December 19, according to Human Services. No explanation of the report from the Ranger Sorensen to the Kern County Parks Commission November 15 that there was no ranger presence in Districts 4 and 5 and only one ranger assigned to Hart Park, one extra help ranger assigned to Buena Vista Lake, Buena Vista, and 2 rangers assigned to Lake Isabella. That's it. No explanation of the number of park rangers assigned to parks, as several park rangers are seemingly assigned to building security. During a recent board meeting, Supervisor Peters asked about Kern County's Adopt a Park program. Let's be clear. Adopt a Park volunteers cannot be expected to take the place of non-existent park rangers. Another critically important aspect of the cities, or one critically important aspect, I provided a picture, is follow-up with each individual who contacts the city with a complaint. This is true service to the community. This is what the residents of the city of Bakersfield had hoped for when we passed Measure In. This is what the residents of Kern County expected with the passage of Measure K, and that's what's needed now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Others? Seeing none, we'll go to item 2, which is board member announcements and reports. I see none, but I'll ask if Ms. Espinoza would like to come down and provide us with any comments, answers to questions that may have been posed. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Amy Espinoza, Kern County Auditor-controller, County Clerk, Registrar of Voters. I do want to comment on some of the comments from this morning. I was here sitting at the back. I didn't wave. I did this afternoon. But I have committed to being here in the morning session. So I will be here, and if I can't make it, I will let you all know.
I will try to remember that from now on. Thank you.
So this morning, Mr. McLean had a comment on a board letter that I brought before your board November 28th, 2023, and it was an update on the investment that your board made at budget time. The fiscal impact of that was none, because the item was an update only, and it was not asking for any fiscal consideration. That fiscal consideration had already occurred on August 29th when your board approved the budget, which was also the time there was another comment about from Mr. Hensel about a budget debate on what your board approves for departments, and that is part of budget hearings, and that is the time for the public to come and comment on the budget that your board is considering. So just to clarify, there was a debate on that, and this item was only an update. It was not requesting additional fiscal consideration. There was another question by Mr. McLean on who advised your board on extending the contract with Dominion. I did, and that is based on facts and firsthand knowledge of the operations, processes, and security measures that we here in Kern County use on our voting system. Mr. McLean also asked about cameras, but I'll mention that a little bit later. Mr. Clayton, he had a comment on NBRA and just kind of in general, and I just wanted to let everyone know that my staff and we are committed to following all federal, state, and local laws in regards to elections. Mr. Shin, he brought up an EVES report. It's the biannual survey that all counties provide to the state of California. And he mentioned approximately 75,000 waiting to be removed from voter rolls. And I just want to clarify on that, which I know there was a threat of litigation, so I have to just kind of keep comments to a minimum. But just for the public's knowledge and your board, when someone is determined to be sent this card that lets them know you will be canceled from the voter roll, they're put in an inactive status. So the 75,000, they're not being sent ballots. And I just want to make that clear because I'm not sure what the intent of this is, or the worry, I guess, is the concern. But these are not 75,000 ballots that are going out to people that we know are not at these addresses or are no longer alive, potentially. Wanted to make that clear. Let's see. Mr. Robles, he asked a few things, mostly on security cameras versus surveillance cameras. The budget process, at the end of August is when your board approved the budget. After that point, I'm not an IT expert. I had to get in touch with, information technology services. We talked to general services about installation. And looking at options that were provided to me, I made that decision. I made the decision because of our short time frame to get cameras on these boxes as quickly as possible. As we went through that process, it was never intended to be live streamed. My initial recommendation or my initial decision was not to be live streamed. I let ITS know we'd bring it back to our office, have a workstation or two where observers could come in and look at that. As we went on, and I believe it was Mr. Robles who requested later on, asked about live streaming. It was still not something that I was going to choose to do. And however, after coming through this a little further, it is something that I will be looking at along with ITS for the November election.
Can I stop you and ask you a question about that?
Yes.
Do we have the adequate equipment to do that now, or do we have to buy new cameras?
We have to buy new
equipment?
cameras.
Okay.
This morning, or this afternoon, sorry, Mr. Robles also asked how many voters have been removed, how many over 90. He didn't give a time frame. I'm not exactly sure. We're not going to go back to the beginning of time. Obviously, I don't know if it's just this election, if it's the last 2 months. And these requests, just so your board's aware, these requests do not come to my office. They come here to your board. Let's see. And then,
Can you give us any information on any number or any time frame that you know, or even an approximation?
no, I can't give you that. I mean, we'd have to go compile that and look at that. There might be a report, and I'm not well versed in our EMS system. Staff is, but I'd have to go back and ask them if there's any type of report we could pull, but we would still need some type of a quantifier.
I'm going to make the request and say in the last 5 years. But if it's an easy report to run and you can show us something longer than that, I don't know how difficult it is to run a report like that. If it's as simple as like an Excel sheet.
Yeah, I don't know. And are you looking at by year, by month, by quarter?
I'm looking for a cumulative number, and if you want to break it out into an annual number, I think that's adequate information. I don't think we need to know how many by quarter or by month or per day, but a certain number per year in the last 5 years would be a good starting point.
Okay.
But I'd also, before you go off on that, let us know how much work that is. If it's an awful lot of work, we may want to refine that. If
Yeah,
it's
and if
not
it's
a
an
lot of
awful
work,
lot of-
then
Yeah, if
okay.
it's an awful lot of work, I'll let you know
Okay.
because it will be something that we can't even look at until we're done with the special elections.
Okay.
So you're looking for how many voters have been removed as well as how many are over 90?
I'm not concerned about the number over 90. I'm just concerned about the number that have been removed.
Okay, I'll look at that and then I'll be in
I
touch
know
with
some
you.
90-year-olds. I'm getting closer there all the time.
And then I wanted to, before I get into my final comments, just Mr. McLean mentioned this afternoon, as well as Mr. Hensel, my office not responding to questions or giving feedback. And again, I just want to reiterate, I've said it before, these questions, these comments, they don't come directly to my office. A lot of this could be handled coming to my office and I could provide a response. That doesn't happen. I've come before your board before and I've mentioned this, and it still doesn't happen. And when your board requests that I come forward or someone submits something to my office, I am responsive and I do provide responses. Whether the responses are what the recipient is looking for, that's a different story, but I can assure you that I am providing responses that are true and transparent. Finally, I want to comment on Mr. Pavich's, what he submitted this morning. I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at it yet, but the headline is OMG voting machine tally hacked with 99-cent ballpoint pen. There was also an article by Newsmax that came out today, and I just wanted to read a few items because what was provided to you was very one-sided and did not tell the entire story. And as you may know, Newsmax is a conservative organization, but they did, at least in their comments, include some of the responses from the current Secretary of State along with Dominion. And so I do want to just mention that one of the things that was pointed out was that the person who was able to hack into a machine, into a ballot marking device with a pen, had 3 months of lead time, research time, and a judge also ordered, it's my understanding, a judge ordered Dominion to give them all of the passcodes, the passkeys, all of the information that this person would need to get into the device. So it wasn't an one-off where someone just says, hey, let me try this pen and see if it works, and it was able to occur. Also, I did want to bring to your board, and I didn't have time to pull it before I came, but the number of votes that are cast on our TSX, which is the electronic marking ballot device, the number of votes that are cast are extremely small, and I would say are 1% or less. The majority of our ballots are coming, well, nearly all are coming in on election day as a paper ballot or vote by mail, which is a paper ballot. And so I will get that information again, just to kind of put this in context. I think it's really important. Now, other states, they do require possibly an electronic voting device for every single ballot. California does not, Kern County does not, and I want to make sure that the voters of Kern County understand that that is not occurring here. That concludes my comments, so if there are any other questions.
While we have you here, let's see if the board has any comments or questions for you. Supervisor Peters.
Thank you, Chairman. Ms. Espinoza, on the ballot marking devices, is there still a physical paper ballot attached to that's verifiable after they've been used?
Yes. So a ballot marking device, a voter comes up, they make their selections, a ballot is printed out, and it lists all of the people that the voter voted for. So prior to dropping that piece of paper into the ballot box, someone can confirm that, you know, they didn't hit a little above whoever they were trying to vote for or below. And so they can confirm that before dropping that paper ballot into the ballot box.
Okay, thank you.
I don't see any other questions or comments for you. Thank you very much. Seeing no other board member announcements or reports, that brings us to the end of our agenda. Need a motion to adjourn to February 6th, 2024 at 9 a.m.
So moved.
Without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you.
I can speak for every single Sentinel here